Welcome back, everyone. This is Let's Play Advanced Tactics Gold, episode number 13. So they are applying a little more pressure in the south, but I'm not going to worry about it quite yet. Even if they decide to come around, I think what I'll do is just try, unless they can actually shuffle all their forces along, I'm going to let them just kind of come in here and just play the same game I've been playing, which is cut off and re-secure the line. So it's just free units. It'd be a free over 100 units if they decide to do that. Now if this is correct, this is a massive, massive combat unit, and it'll take a long time for us to actually whittle it down, even if its readiness is down to 10, because that's still like 11 full-strength rifle units. But it'll only be a matter of time. They won't really succeed in any attacks at such low readiness. I'm not even sure if they can attack with such low readiness. Alright, so the things we want to accomplish right now are quickly resecure this. I'm going to start in the north because we have a lot of artillery with us now. And what I'm going to do is move this unit here. It does cost more movement to move here than to move here. But either way, I will have enough attack strength left. And either way, I won't have enough action points left to do anything else. So I'd rather have the unit here. And this machine gun, I'm going to attack with him as well. So right now I could do an attack like this. The reason why I'm attacking with this machine gun, even though it's so weak, is just because it confers this concentric bonus, another 10% on my strength in the attack. Not to mention the actual strength that the two machine guns lend themselves. And my idea here is that not both of these machine guns will actually die. Because if they do, then I will lose the division card, which is a political point loss. And that's actually pretty significant. So we're just going to kind of hope that that doesn't happen. And it didn't, so we lost one rifleman, but nothing else. And to secure our lines, it's just something that's worth doing. And instead of moving the machine gun in, we don't have the, because their readiness was so low, we don't have the ability to do anything else, so we will move them forward in the end. Ultimately, I want to move them down. I wanted them to move here, and these guys will be out of action points as well. Good, but that kind of plugs the hole in our line that the armored cars created, and it shows you the strength of the armored units. Or if you could definitely probably saw the strength of the armored units if you saw my last Let's Play. So we have to be a little cautious about that. We still have this unit way behind enemy lines. And if I remember correctly, I think the best thing for me to do will be to move this machine gun down. There's also this unit over here. Oh, sorry, actually this one who is going to be able to leave. Yeah, we're going to do that. So this machine gun is going to move forward to take that hex and then in. Headquarters over to the red. What is this nonsense? Is this charge again? I'm not gonna reattach this to. The machine gun is not threatened, so I'm not gonna reattach it to red. I'm gonna leave it with the Supreme headquarters and not the eastern one for the time being, because I might play that charge card at the end of this, maybe at the beginning of the next episode. I just want to do it at a point where I can save and figure out what it does. Maybe even experiment with it off camera, because when I was trying to play this card off camera, where's my yellow headquarters? Again, I just have no clue what to do with the cards. But when I was trying to play this card off camera, it looks like it can only be played with armor, which makes sense for Blitz. Okay, that means that this unit is now free to move forward, and we'll move him forward like that. He'll be our rear guard sweeper. He'll eventually take this unit out and reconquer this territory. Again, no strategic value to that territory, so I don't really mind that it's not in our possession. But we do want to hold this line because it is our important railway connection, which, as soon as we're able to conquer this, will finally be reestablished. And I hope from that point onward, we will never lose it again. We are certainly close to losing it, considering a massive number of units that France has assembled on the edge of the forest here. Very close to Oxford. I'm not worried about them attacking this, even though that's the only hex. I think this hex and this hex are threatened from 2 hexes. I mean, technically 3, but one of these is German. And again, I haven't seen any interaction between those two. But just zooming out, we know that there is some. Oh, I mean, this is really weird. I actually want to know what's going on there. The French have actually been cut off in the middle here. Or they have a unit behind enemy lines or something. It is actually cutting off the connection, the railway connection with the west and the eastern part of the German Empire. That's interesting. And now we can definitely see that it is the Germans advancing. They've taken this Ra and they're moving east. I was worried that the Russians might get too strong, so that's good. For this exact reason, we can see that Lorient has now been taken by the Russians and they are pushing hard towards Orléans. Very interesting. It's cool to see that all that is happening behind the scenes. So we'll zoom back in. And I've complained about it a million times, but sometimes when you zoom out, it zooms out twice instead of once. We need to zoom back in twice. Okay, so what to do about this attack? Let's turn off hex coloring, and I think we just might do an all-sided attack on this guy. He's not in the forest. This unit is going to be easy to crush. In fact, we might attack with 2 machine gun units to this one, just because it's so weak, and machine guns get their bonus. Maybe even all 3. Let me see if I do an attack. And I do it with this. It's below the... Oh, it's above the attack stack. Strange. The attack stack's only 120. Is that because I don't have... I'm attacking from only 2 hexes. That's right. We need a 3rd hex to get the bonus. But that 3rd hex is going to mean we actually go over... we actually go over the attack stack because we're adding more people. So if we gain 50 but we add 50, we're still over. Let's add one of these units. Let's see who's lower in experience. Let's attack with the higher experience unit. Okay, so at 130 out of 150, we get a concentric bonus plus 30%. I think this is a battle we're just clearly going to win. So let's attack. And they were out of... we only had 1 unit retreat, and they were out of supply for so long that their readiness was really low. Now, what we've kind of done, unfortunately, is make our job a little more difficult in that we've increased the effective combat value of this suburban hex. So, whatever. Hindsight 2020, maybe it was better for us not to do that. The one that had attacked, so the action point 50 guy, we'll move him in because it's free to do that, obviously, since he already attacked in there. We'll probably continue with him. No, actually, we're going to want to shuffle these units a little bit because I do want this machine gun to be attacking into the suburban. And I suppose this guy will just move and shift and cover. Can either of these guys attack? No, they can't. So then there's no point. Really, probably what we'll do is the entrenchment is equal on both of these, so we'll just move the lower experienced unit here, move this machine gun in, and we've refortified this forest front line. These units, I'm not even sure how completely in supply they are because they do have to jump this river, and that's usually very expensive. Because I don't see any headquarters immediately adjacent to them, that might mean that they're actually cut off from perfect supply. I mean, it could be just yellow, but at least that's something. And now, do we attack these guys? I think we do. I think we do. So that attack that these guys just did was actually enough to bump up their experience so that they're actually equal with the 6th, which is nice. So we can use them again. Since we already lost the entrenchment bonus, you can see they're down to 100. We don't want to lose the entrenchment bonus with these guys, so we want to attack with the same people. We obviously want to attack with these guys as well, for just the same reason. 1, they're machine guns, and the submachine guns are gonna help in the city. And 2, they've already attacked, so they don't have an entrenchment bonus we need to worry about. However, we're actually gonna attack from 1 unit all around. And I think we'll attack with this unit because they have higher experience and they have lower entrenchment anyway. And of these 2, we will want the higher experience one because we need to bring all of our best forces to bear. We're at a little bit below the attack stack and we have the 100% concentric bonus. I think this should be an easy victory. And yes, we only had 1 retreat. We were victorious. Good, so I'm going to move the submachine gun unit in there. Nobody else needs to move forward. I mean, these guys can. Where do I want these guys to end up? Yeah, now I basically just want to re-secure the front. We've reconnected. This is excellent. I actually want this unit to move this way because I want to reinforce the front up here. And I can't switch his headquarters just because, again, that stupid the playing card. All right, well, I guess it's free to move forward here. There's no reason not to do that. We should really protect this roadway, although this is not a threat. The only threat we have is down here, but we're defending the forest very well. So what do we want to do? I guess we will still keep moving these people forward. Even the guy who attacked, he has enough movement to actually... We could even attack this unit. Low readiness. We could attack from... I don't want to attack from across the river, although I could, because it'd be into open field, and we'd be using our submachine guns who get that minus 25% penalty in the fields and in the plains. But we could still attack with 2 units just to inflict some casualties. I don't even know why we would need to, because we'll push them out and they'll probably just come right back. But hey, let's do it just because let's secure our river. Let's do it. The one who already attacked is the one I'm going to attack with again, because his experience is even higher now. And I guess I'll use the same logic here. This is not necessarily a victory. It looks like it will be. Excellent. So the big thing here is the infantry gun casualty. Because again, the Germans haven't created a gun factory. Let's see, they have 1 armor factory here. I'm going to zoom out once. They have 1 tank factory here. And I know they have another tank factory. Here it is. But I don't see any gun factories. Yeah, I definitely don't see any gun factories. Excuse me. There we go. That means that every infantry gun that I'm killing is coming from their city production. And that's very important. So now I don't even really care about losing my artillery because I have an infinite production of these. They do cost a pretty sizable amount of raws, but again, I don't care about raws. Our raw situation is just basically set for the rest of the game. And we can almost think of it in the same case for oil. It doesn't look like oil will ever be a problem because by the time we actually get armored cars or armor or tanks or even fighters or dive bombers, we're going to have oil probably close to 50 or 70,000. Okay, so that was nice. Let's move both of the units who succeeded in that attack in because that's going to be our new defense point. We'll anchor there. This guy, we can move a few more people forward. Let's move him to double reinforce there. This guy was able to... He didn't do anything this turn, but there's no point in having him stand there, so let's double reinforce there. And now this is a solid line. I don't expect that anything that the Germans do can affect this line. The only weak spot in this entire front now is probably this one unit and the lack of any unit protecting the southern area over here. I could actually secure that. I think this unit can get there. It can. And then I can actually shift this unit down. Okay, good. So now we've reinforced the only weak spot in the line. I would like, if I'm able to eventually, one more unit here so that if this unit falls back, or even another unit in this hex itself, that would really fortify it. It would take a serious amount of artillery and a good combination of a 3-sided attack in order to dislodge this unit. But if I had 2 units there, I don't even think it would be possible then. They would definitely need support, like heavy artillery support. Alright, so looking it up, we're good everywhere. This is just my little foothold across the river, and it's been defending itself very well so far, so we'll leave it there. The next weak point we see is here. Kind of 2 weak spots, but since we have this ranger unit, let's just move that one forward. Now we're reinforcing the one spot along the line that I felt a little insecure about. And the whole rest of the line I feel pretty confident about. In fact, if we want, how's supply doing for here? See, this is a bad thing already. This unit is technically only receiving part of the supplies that it needs. But it's such an important... Okay, we can solve that. We can actually solve that. We just need to build a road. The question is, where do we build the road from to? I suppose we could build the road this way. So from here to here is what I'm thinking this turn. I'm trying to have like some foresight. Well, why would I need such a road? But I guess you could... The road would probably make more sense going from here to here and then over to this raw, like so. Which means that units going north would not have to cut back west in order to head east. I don't know. It's splitting hairs, but this is the min-max side of me coming in. Like, I can't really anticipate where I want that road. But even one road, somewhere, any road to here is going to resupply this guy well. And since this is not going over a stream, I'm pretty sure, despite the fact that this is... Okay, I'm actually going to do some maneuvering here. I'm going to move this ranger unit into the fields because my submachine guns will get a penalty there, but they'll have a bonus in the forest. So let's just rotate those 2 units. Even though they will lose their entrenchment, I'm assuming that even with the lower entrenchment, having the stream here should help, and this unit being in the forest should help. So let's do it. Like so, and let's see how... Yeah, this guy's still fine in supply. This guy just needs to get supply somehow with one more road. So is it from here to here, or is it from here to here? The question might be solved itself by can we do either? Yeah, it looks like since it only costs 70 movement into there, we would definitely be able to secure that with a road from here to there if we want. Because another thing I was thinking about doing is having this engineer just build a road down too. All it does is take a little bit of his engineering points and a little bit of raw. And technically it just means that our supplies have to travel a little bit less far in order to connect with the north, which is not a really big deal, but it can save us a little bit of rail capacity moving things around. So if I have this road going up like this, then it might make more sense to have the road leaving from the suburban. Okay, we've talked about it enough, let's just do that. Good. And that should mean that this unit is now in supply. Perfect. Okay, let's also move this engineer away from the front again. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. Is there anything else we need to do on this turn? I don't know. Well, okay, yes. We need to do some artillery attacks. I think I want to move... I want to start moving some of the artillery south. So what I'm going to do, since the one in here is going to have lower readiness as soon as he splits into a new division. Actually, the best thing to do will be probably just to use all the artillery up here to obliterate French forces, because it's a waste of time to send them south. Unfortunately, we don't have that many reinforcements coming into the north, like infantry-wise. But if we weaken these units enough, we should be able to push to Coutances. Again, my pronunciation is just a guess. I'm pretty sure this is Nîmes, but I don't know this one. Coutances, I think. Now they do have a gun factory and a tank factory, so they are producing both the infantry guns that they're using and the armored cars that they're using basically free. I mean, it's going to cost them raw, but aside from that, it's free. Yeah, okay, so we're just going to use these artillery pieces to slowly whittle down on the forces in the front here. And this seems like an obvious target because it's surrounded on 4 sides, so if we weaken it, we can easily attack, do a follow-up attack. However, another pretty juicy target is this one right here, because he's not in the forest getting the huge entrenchment bonus. He'll be easier to actually destroy. And I typically like to use my artillery against units that are hexes where there's a lot of enemy units. I don't know why, I just feel like if you're gonna bombard a target, you might as well pick one where you don't have to be as accurate to hit somebody. It just makes sense. What do we want to do first though? So let's move this guy forward at the cost of 40. Yes, because he's not pulled by a horse or anything. Artillery moves extremely, extremely slow. But we have to do it in order to get some bombardment in. So I think we'll bombard this guy with just the one that has very little action points. Just to do something. Maybe nothing. Okay, some casualties is good, but again, we're lowering their readiness and we're lowering their entrenchment. And the readiness is probably more important unless we're actually attacking. Because that also lowers their action points, their ability to move, which means that they aren't going to be able to move forward as far as they want. Now with the other bombardment, I'm going to bombard with both of my other forces, which gives us a full 10 rounds of 8 artillery. Now they only did 6, but they probably lowered their readiness by a bit and their entrenchment. So that's good. And we'll just continue with this. Now, of course, artillery bombarding forest does take a 50% penalty. So that's part of the reason why that was less effective here. And another reason why probably we should bombard this hex. But what's done is done. Let's go ahead and save, or not save, let's go ahead and end the turn. Is there anything else I'm missing? I think that's fine. And this unit is going to get another bit of artillery. Oh yeah, I do want to move the artillery into a new unit. Good. And now that's everything that I want to do. Okay, let's end the turn and see how the French and the Germans react. I didn't even create new units with my headquarters, but okay, whatever. It's probably a bit of a mistake, but let's see if there's any attacks. I saw one attack, but I don't think they moved in, so it must have been successful. Have they done any attacks here? It'll be interesting to see the history. Oh, another attack, and we stood firm, and we did not succeed here. But that's fine. That's kind of one of the two areas that I was expecting would be a little weaker. Okay, so overall we did kill twice as many infantry as we lost, and that's usually about the break-even zone. The commander also gained a new card in his personal deck. Exactly what I don't want to hear. I mean, I guess it's a bonus, but he can also now play charge. Okay, so quick look at the history. Let's just start off by looking and seeing this unit was a 24. So let's see what happens if they attack that unit. A lot of movement along the front. We're looking at this 24 still. Yes, they did. That's awesome. So we see that the attack was between Old Imperium and Empire of Orleans, but it wasn't an engagement that we took part in. But since it was right next to us, we still saw the attack. Ah, that's so cool. And it's also really cool that we're seeing the AI fight each other. So that's the first time I've seen the AI fight each other. That's the first battle I've seen between them. So I'm really excited. Okay, now less important. Probably the other 36 we lost is the Rangers from the units in the south. So they still advanced. I would say that's really ill-advised because we're going to have an easy surround on that unit. But, well, don't tell that to them, right? So we lost 12 units in this, but they lost 43 rifles, 2 submachine guns. That's a clear victory for us. It probably means that this attack went a lot better for them. We lost 24 and that's 31. That's a loss for us because even though they lost more units, our Rangers are about 40% more expensive, and they didn't lose 40% more. They almost lost 40. They lost maybe about 15% more. So, and that's all the history, right? Just moving forward, capitalizing on the holes. Hey, and they finally. Oh, never mind. They already had that road there. Okay, good. All right, so let's see what we want to do. We have 22 minutes. I might as well call this episode to a quick close, and then I can experiment with these charge cards off camera and maybe get them to work. Okay, so I will call this episode to a close then. Yes. And on the next episode, we'll play our charge cards and see what that means or if it means we should do any attacking. But I doubt it. All right, well, thanks for watching, and until the next episode, take care.